When I think about Marcellus, the first thing I think about is his smile and the happiness that he brings to the room and to anyone and everything around him. With Marcellus, autism is not a disability. It is a different ability. He is a very, very special individual. Marcellus, he loves music. Yeah, he's obsessed with music, CDs, and his genre of music is endless. Everything, from country, hip hop, rap, pop. And he's pretty much an old school, too. He goes back to the Jackson 5. He loves Earth, Wind, and Fire. And he's listed as being nonverbal, but we communicate quite well. His body language is obvious, to me. We communicate real well. When I was employed at New Directions under Wellsprings Lutheran Services, I met Marcellus. He was one of the residents there. And I believe he was 15 years old, and he had already been awarded the state since 2017. He was considered to be a level 3 autism, nonverbal. He was having multiple meltdowns. When I saw how distraught he was after being teased or abused by one of his peers at the facility, he was in his room and having a bit of a meltdown and tearful. I made a promise to him. I gave him my word that I would do everything in my power for the rest of my life to protect and nurture him. I know that the residential setting are better than some of the homes that some of these kids come from. But actually being in a loving, caring house, it's like the difference between day and night. Bethany Christian Services has been the most helpful agency I've worked with thus far. Marcellus was a special individual who touched my heart. He was ready to go, and he was happy, that I was willing to adopt him. He walked through this door for the first time like he had the keys. And he just went looking through the cabinets in the kitchens and and I can just feel his energy. He was just, oh, wow. He was like a kid at a candy store. He was happy as can be. Once when, a child ages out of foster care, their future is somewhat bleak. Most kids that age out of foster care, have nowhere else to go. And more often than not, they turn to drugs, prostitution, and a life of crime. So it's very important, for people to, whoever can, step up, and adopt these kids or bring them into your home, make them part of your family. But being a supportive adult, they see by example, they see what you're doing, they see how you're living. It's one thing about kids, you can never fake the feeling with them. They understand if you really care for them. All kids really need a supportive environment that is stable, because these are some of the things that kids really understand, even that have, who are mentally compromised or that have conduct disorders. If you provide love and structure, I guarantee you they'll be better off.